Embrace your beauty, shine bright. Stand tall on your light tonight. Let go of the doubts, let them fade. Each unique spot is story made. Embrace your beauty, shine bright. Stand tall on your light tonight. Embrace your beauty, shine bright. Stand tall on your light tonight.
Hey bestie, welcome back to my channel and another video in the Let's Catch Up series. Today's video is going to be one that I mentioned that I would do a couple of episodes ago, and that is talking about my experiences with the puppy blues, because it's something that I feel like isn't talked about very much, but it hit me so hard and I feel like we need to talk about it. So before I get into today's video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, leave me a comment down below and subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And without further ado, let's get on with today's video. Okay, so when I first got Rolo, I was hit so hard, I would say within the first 3 weeks of having him, with the puppy blues. Now, building up to getting him, I was so excited. I was so sure, like, this is everything that I want. This is my dream. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be this rose tinted, perfect little movie fantasy kind of situation of having this puppy. And whilst yes, it is, it also isn't. It's a lot harder than I ever gave it credit for, and I ever really expected it to be. So when I first got Rolo, he was such a Velcro puppy, which means that he was very, very clingy. He was on me all the time, and it was just, for someone like, I'm autistic, I've got autism, I've got ADHD, I like my personal space, and to all of a sudden have that personal space taken away by someone who was demanding all of my space and all of my attention, it was very, very overstimulating and overwhelming for me to deal with. And I quickly found myself combating all these thoughts and feelings in my mind, and I felt really guilty for the way that I was feeling. So I can remember kind of thinking, like, what have I done? Like, how do I get out of this kind of thing? You know, is this really for me? Am I the right person for him? Can I actually do this? Am I responsible enough to care for this life? And I was questioning all these things and kept thinking, oh my god, I've made a huge mistake. I don't think I want this anymore. And I did want to send him back, and I didn't really want to keep him. There were and then you feel guilty because I love him so much, and it was like, I should want him and I should be happy that he's here, but I just didn't feel that. And I think because I was so unprepared for how difficult it was, especially initially, I was just very taken aback and very overstimulated and overwhelmed very, very quickly. What you also have to remember as well is that my sleep schedule was suddenly completely changed. My whole routine was completely changed, and again, as someone who enjoyed and loves and thrives off of routine, I was like, wow, this is not good. And I was very tired. I was sleeping on the sofa and he was on me all the time, and I was just, because I'm his main caregiver, it was just so, I don't want to keep using the same words, but you know, it was a lot to take on board. And as I say, you had this like intense guilt, like I love him so much, of course I want him, of course I want him to be here, but at the same time I don't, and I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And I kind of started to think, is it just me that feels this way? I remember I would sit there and it'd get to the evening and I think the tiredness would really start to catch up with me, and I would just start crying, and I would just be crying and crying and crying, and what have I done, what have I done, I don't know if I can do this. And then I'd reach out to people, but then I kind of felt like I shouldn't be feeling this way, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it. I think the main person that I would reach out to was my dad, and I kept saying, I don't know if I can do this, Dad. I feel like we've made a mistake here. And he kept saying, we can't give up on him, we've got to keep going, you know, it's going to be okay. And at the time I found it so annoying, like, can you stop, just keep saying it's going to be okay, because right now it's not okay, I'm not okay. And my mental health was, I thought that having a dog would make me feel a lot better in myself, but it was making me feel worse, and I thought, I can't go on living like this. However, now I look back and I think, oh, I am so glad I didn't give up on him. It would have been so easy just to throw in the towel there and then, and just send him back and just call it quits and say, I tried, it wasn't for me, it's fine. But actually persevered through all those hard stages, and now we're at this point where I am so glad that he is here. I'm more and more in love with him every single day, and he brings so much joy to my life. I mean, when we first started with Rolo and we first got him, there was trying to do everything. We were trying to crate train him, and he didn't want to sleep in the crate. He wanted to sleep with you all the time. So we started off by sleeping on the sofa with him. I'd sleep on the sofa and he would settle but not fully settle, so it was very broken sleep. And then I tried having him in bed with me, but again, that was just, you know, it wasn't great. And then obviously we had him being a land shark and constantly trying to like bite and use his mouth, and that was horrible. I hated that. And then there was this whole thing of trying to toilet train, you know, getting him to use his puppy pad because of his obviously being behind on the injections, which I'm not going to go into because I've spoken about that so many times in other videos. But yeah, trying to get him to use the puppy pad, and he wasn't doing it. It was, I'm doing it on the carpet, or I'm going to do it on the sofa, or everywhere but. And it was just so, I was like, what more can I do? I feel like I'm doing everything wrong. Nothing seems to be going right to plan. And it was just, it was hard. And don't get me wrong, he still has accidents. He still will do little dribbles, poos on the carpet. However, he is more consistent with using his puppy pad. He's even started going in the garden and doing wees and poos in the garden. He can also, obviously he can go in there, the garden now, so he free roams. He goes and plays in there. He curls up with me and he goes to sleep. He's a lot more independent, you know, he doesn't want to be with me all the time. He's happy to keep himself occupied. He loves playing with his toys. He's on wet food. He can do paw, he can do sit, he can do weight, he does high fives. He is just doing so well, and he is coming on leaps and bounds, and I feel like it's a massive weight off my mind because finally things are starting to progress in the right direction. And I think as well, because we can take him on walks and he's been going on play dates with his brother Rocky, I think the two dogs have been a really good influence on each other, so that's definitely helped. And obviously having my nan and my sister on this journey with me, it's really nice to be able to go to them and be like, is your puppy doing this? Because and I also forgot to mention in that one that he also sleeps in the crate now. He will go into his crate at like 10 o'clock at night and he sleeps through until 8, half 8 in the morning. So even that is just, it helps. Being able to get a full night's sleep, so you wake up and you feel kind of refreshed and ready to take on another day, it really helps physically, but also helps up here. Sleep is so important, especially when you have a puppy. It's like having a newborn baby. So I think my advice would be to anyone who is getting a puppy or thinking about getting a puppy, do your research. Honestly, research it. Yes, there's going to be cute moments, but please don't look at it through rose-tinted glasses, because it is such hard work. You have got to be able to fully commit and to give your full attention and time and space and give your everything to this puppy. They're going to be fully dependent on you, especially in those first few weeks where you've just taken them away from everything they've known their whole lives. You've taken them away from their mum and any siblings, and you need to be able to persevere through that phase. And for anyone who may have a puppy who also may be feeling like they are being hit by the puppy blues, it is going to be okay. And I know I found it annoying when that was said to me, but I promise you it will be okay. Like, this is just a phase. They are puppies, they are basically babies. They are learning, and they will learn, and they will get to a point like I am now where they are independent. They are toilet trained, they are crate trained if you are crate training. I know some people don't believe in crate training, however, personally it has been a godsend for us. And they'll be independent, they'll be able to play, they'll be able to go in the garden, you'll be able to take them on adventures. You will get to that stage of their life. You've just got to get through the initial puppy phase, and then you know, and I know there's more to come. I know you've got the teenager phase and all of this, but I feel more mentally prepared to take that on. But seriously, being a dog mama, it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's not for the weak. And yeah, so that is basically my experience with the puppy blues. I hope I've basically covered it enough. And yeah, so that's going to be all for today's video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and I'd love to know your experiences with your puppy, and if you've been through the puppy blues, or if you feel like you are going through the puppy blues, you can always reach out to me and I will happily talk it through with you. You know, you are not alone. That's the most important thing to take from this video. You are not alone. It's okay to feel this way. It's normal. It's a part of it. More people are hit with it than you ever realise. But yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, bestie.